big result here. I suppose we'd have to say that the biggest test for Mancini will become, and that's what he's going to be judged on, in how he does in the Euros, isn't it?
Yeah, and you just had to bring up the fact that Italy chose not to play in the 2018 World Cup by sticking it up against Sweden in the playoffs. But it's 27 games in a row unbeaten now in official matches. And more importantly, we're seeing really, really good performances. I mean, they're playing well. They're fun to watch. They scored 4 goals. Other games, they only maybe won 1 or 2-0. But they played equally well. We saw the veteran combination at the back of Bonucci and Chiellini. I'm not sure you're going to see that in every game in the tournament, but they held up their end of the bargain. I don't think this is a team necessarily filled with top to bottom superstars, except maybe Barella and Verratti, who didn't play today. But there are a lot of players who have a lot of personality, who are very positive, and a manager who encourages them to go forward, to attack, to take risks, and they're growing in confidence every game.
Ciro Immobile on the score sheet. Can he finally translate his domestic form onto the international scene, much maligned with Italy?
I mean, I think he has 13 goals in 46 games for Italy, so it's not a great return for your lead center forward. But I think his failings with Italy have kind of been magnified by his performance, obviously, in that playoff against Sweden. He is somebody who doesn't just score goals. He does a lot of other things. His finishing may be patchy, even in Serie A. Obviously, he scored a ton of goals. I think he had 36 2 years ago, and has consistently had over 20 goals the last 4 years. But they've also generally come in bunches. If they can get him the service, you have to assume that unless he hits a drought, he'll score. Nobody says he's Lewandowski, but if you get somebody clear-cut chances like Italy can do, or certainly have done under Mancini, I think he can score. And if he doesn't, they have the poor man's Agüero and Raspadori, as well as the bull Belotti. So we have alternatives.
Definitely alternatives there. What did you make of their performance today, Stevie?
Listen, you can only beat what's put in front of you. The truth is that the Czech Republic didn't particularly close Italy down, but that's not Italy's fault. And if you stand off Italy, then as they showed in this game, they can pass the ball, the movement's good. When you play in a friendly and your front three all score, then that's fantastic for confidence. So, listen, people need to be wary of Italy. If you stand off Italy, they'll score and create chances. So you have to get in about them. And as Gab said, 20-odd game winning streak, going into a European competition with that behind you breeds confidence. And I'll tell you what, there are not many sides want to play Italy right now. Yeah,
you mentioned actually, Gab, as well, Verratti and Barella. It's obviously very positive in the middle of the park for them, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's more depth to that. There's Locatelli, there's Pellegrini, there's Jorginho, who I know some people are conditioned to not like. But hey, how many Champions League titles have you won? So look, I think this is a very different Italy side. In the past, Italy's had great defenders and great strikers, and often like to play on the counterattack. This is an entirely different animal. This is a team who potentially has an outstanding goalkeeper, although obviously he's got issues off the pitch right now. But it's a team where most of the talent is in the middle of the park. And I think and you have a manager that believes that in the modern game, if you've got talented midfielders, then you should go out and be proactive and work hard and play on the front foot, because that's a direction of travel in modern football. And they're doing that. They're getting it done. Up front, there's more to come. We saw Berardi. Insigne had a tremendous game, but they still have Chiesa, who came on and who gives you something different as well. So I think there's a really, really good vibe around this team right now. Unless you're superstitious and you want to go back and note that when Italy has won things, it's usually playing awful in all the pre-tournament friendlies and barely qualifying. There's reason to be hopeful, I think.
So are you hopeful, Gab? How do you rate the chances this summer?
I mean, look, are they as talented as France? No. They're probably not as talented as Belgium either. But I think every team in this tournament have some issues, and I think on their day, they feel that they can battle with just about anybody. I think the way they've played so far in the approach of this tournament, I think they would be very disappointed if they didn't reach the semifinal. I think that is a good minimum target to consider this a good tournament. And then obviously it also depends, who you lose to and how you play, if indeed you lose. But, the way things have gone, why not?
Can they win it, Stevie?
I think France would need to have some bad days, but after France, then they're, in my opinion, as good as anybody else. They have the same problem that most of the other teams have defensively, and the fact that their centre-backs, they're not particularly deep. But then 9 teams out of 10 in this competition are in the same spot, so Italy's got a chance, absolutely.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.